You knew after your first conversation with her that you wanted to marry her.
Yeah, I had a really good feeling like that she's the one, and thankfully she had a feeling like that too. That first phone call that was just supposed to be a 5-minute phone call, just with more information about kind of Night to Shine and the way we serve people with special needs and some of those things, because her sister was special needs. And then it lasted 2 hours, 24 minutes, and 6 seconds.
Now, did you know going into it you had interest in her, or?
Of course.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, so give a little of the backstory there.
So I had gotten to see her talk about her sister with special needs, and so we were, for the first time, serving in South Africa individuals with special needs for Night to Shine. And then I saw that and I said, well, we sent her an invitation so we could serve her family. And then she was like, well, hey, this looks awesome, but I need to look into this a little bit more, like being a protective big sister. And she was like, so we emailed back and forth a few times, and hoping to be able to serve her family and her sister, but at the same time, had some ulterior motives of like, she seems awesome. And so we emailed back and forth, and she's like, hey, can we set up a quick phone call so I can learn more? And that phone call, and I think we both afterwards were like, I think we're probably gonna get married. And I would not have been that type of person.
And then was the first date right after that?
The first date was a little while after, because...
Like Erie, Pennsylvania.
Yes, come on, you did some research. I like it. That's right. Because she was traveling all over. I think that year she had 22 international trips as Miss Universe, so she was like all over the place. And I was playing minor league baseball, so I was all over the place. And then she was actually not far from there. I was finishing a baseball game, and so that's where we met. And that was right before she went on a 7-week, 7-country trip. And I was like, oh man, we really need to have a date, because I think when she leaves on this trip, she's gonna go and she's gonna get swept off her feet by the Prince of Wales or something, I was like,
because when you find somebody you're interested in, that's all you can, right?
Yeah, so we had to, but we've never actually met in person.
Yeah.
And so we finally met, and then it was
The rest is history. How did the long distance work?
FaceTime's helpful. And when you're playing minor league baseball, there's a lot of time on buses. So a lot. And so it was honestly not that much in person for most of our dating phase, and I'm so grateful for FaceTimes, because that really helped. And she was all over the country, all over the world. But honestly, I feel like part of that actually was helpful, because it gave us more time to really communicate and talk about passions and cares and hopes and dreams and really important stuff that sometimes when you're in person, you just talk about where's the next place you want to eat type thing. And that let us get in some good conversations. And then in between all her trips and baseball, then we would try to have some dates here or there. But then when baseball season ended and got more into TV stuff, then we were able to spend a little bit more time together. But it was still a lot of time for both of us on the road.
What's this I hear about microphones in haystacks during a proposal?
Oh, yeah. I just wanted the proposal to be as meaningful and sincere and thoughtful as I could. So for the proposal, we just had so many surprises, and when I was thinking she was catching on, then we'd go back and create another lie to throw her off.
Okay, wait, explain that.
So we had set it up for a long time that the Tebow family always has Christmas dinner at my parents' house, and it's a really nice deal. We don't. But that was to be able to get her dressed up over at my parents' house, we call it the farm.
Heck of a place to grow up.
It was awesome. And so for the proposal, I want to do something meaningful in a meaningful place, and that pond out there is very meaningful. It's many days I sat out there and thought and prayed and buried our 2 dogs. It's just very meaningful. So we had created an arch, and we had a really bench, and we had flowers out there and all these surprises. And the minute I feel like she's catching on, I would like try to create another lie and told her we had another surprise, that I got my dad a truck for Christmas. And so I had a friend here who has a dealership drop off a truck with the big bow on it. And I was like, okay, we're gonna ride in this over to mom and dad's and I'm gonna give them the truck. Because I thought, she's gonna think, if you're giving your dad a truck for Christmas, then you're really making it about your dad. It wouldn't be about me. So I did that just to throw her off. So we got in the truck, but meanwhile, what she didn't know is I already had all these people, her best friends and her family all flew in from South Africa. And she's like, why aren't we I can't get her on text. My dad, because they were flying 16 hours over here. And so we drove over to the house, and before we went in, I said, hey, I have something out here I want you to see. We walked out there, and I wanted her to know this is kind of what's happening. And so she sees the flowers, we get emotional, we're walking closer, and then I stopped and I proposed to her, and she said yes. And then I said, hey.
It touches you now, even.
Oh, yeah. And I said, hey, let's play our favorite. It's just a special memory. It's the best. And I said, hey, let's play one of our favorite songs. It's a song by Matthew Mole called The Wedding Song. It's one of her favorite artists from South Africa. We play it, and then as we're playing it, he walks around from one of the hay bales, and then he's playing it acoustically, and she's like, what? And meanwhile, the whole time we had different cameras and mics and the hay bales that were around there, so they could hear what we were saying, and they could hear the cues. So I gave a cue, and I turned her around as we're dancing to the song, and then she turns back around, and her parents are there from South Africa, and she's shocked. And then my parents are there, and then her 4 of her best friends were there, and so it was just a night of full surprises. And she's like, wait, so are you really giving your dad the truck? And I'm like, no. And so she goes up to my dad, and she's like, you know, I'm sorry you're not getting a truck, but you're getting a daughter. And that was one of my favorite lines of the night.